What is up, everybody? Ben and Michaela here.
And today we're going to be talking about how we went from 0 subs to full-time on YouTube in 1 year.
We're hoping that some of these tips and things that we've learned along the way will help you guys go full-time as well. Let's go.
Our first tip, and arguably the most important thing that we can say today, is to start now. Just get started. Just do it. Start when you're afraid. Start when you're unsure of what you're going to do, and just do it.
I know that can be a little bit of a scary thing sometimes. Believe me, I've dealt with it. I didn't start for over 3 years. I was scared of failure. I was scared of, playing the comparison game and all of that stuff. And so I actually let fear get in the way of myself getting started, but it wasn't until I just decided to punch fear in the face and go for it that we were able to make any sort of progress towards this goal.
Another really key tip that we have is to just be consistent.
One of the key things to growing on YouTube after you decide to start is to stay consistent. The more content that you can put out, the more chances that people have to interact with it. So if you're watching this video, it probably means that you're not quite full-time on YouTube yet, which would probably mean that you're either working another job or doing a side hustle, and you don't have all of the time in the world to commit to YouTube. So you can probably feel some pressure when people are coming at you saying, like, you need to post as much as possible, you need to post multiple times a week, but go ahead and take that pressure off. If you can aim to do 1 video a week or even 1 every 2 weeks in the beginning, that's a great way to kind of get started and work in a way that will be manageable and realistic with your schedule. However, with that said, prioritize what is important. So if it's important for you to grow on YouTube, if that's your goal, if that's your ambitions, sometimes it may mean needing to move some other things around so that you can make that happen.
Another tip that we have for you guys is to just never stop learning. I know that Ben and I are constantly watching other YouTube videos, reading books, joining courses, and trying to gain all of the knowledge that we can so that we can get better at what we're trying to do.
Try to carve out some time in your schedule to just dedicate it to learning. There's a lot of awesome things that you can learn from other people that have gone before you that will help save time and make your whole workflow more efficient and more effective.
And I think something too that at least I struggle with sometimes is when I'm watching a YouTube video, I kind of get in this mindset of, oh, I'm not working right now, I'm being lazy, I'm just watching something. But I have to switch my mindset and realize that actually this is working because I'm learning, I'm growing, and this is something that I have to spend time doing if I want to be able to grow in YouTube and in life and in our jobs and in our businesses.
And the thing about YouTube and content creation and technology and all of the tools that we use is it's always changing. There's always new things. There's always new best practices out there. And so more than anything, try to develop a habit and a lifestyle and a discipline of learning. Our next tip for you guys is shorter is better. A lot of times when you're going to create your YouTube video and you haven't done it a lot, you can kind of tend to overtalk. And sometimes that actually gets in the way of the viewer making it to the information that they came there to find. And so when you're filming, try to think like an editor. Your future self will thank you when you're actually editing your videos. Don't waste a lot of time trying to tell different stories or things like that. Just kind of get right to the value-packed points, and people will thank you for it.
Yeah, and I know we script probably at least half of our videos, and one thing that we do before we even get to the filming is we read through the script together probably 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and we trim it down every single time. Like, does this need to be said? Does this help bring the point across clearer? And if it doesn't, we ditch it because it just doesn't matter.
This next tip could be a little controversial. There's a lot of different opinions going on around the internet and around YouTube and photographers and filmmakers, but gear matters and quality matters. And so our tip is basically pay attention to the quality because it really does make a difference. Now, this does not mean that you need to go out and buy the greatest piece of equipment or the newest piece of equipment or make it look a certain way or cinematic or whatever. It just means that you need to make it easy for the viewer to digest it.
Yeah, I mean, I know if there are two different YouTubers who are starting at the same time, maybe have very similar niches, but one's quality is just far above the other one, the one with the quality is the one I'm going to watch. And you do need to spend time in your post-production to make your video as good as it can be with the gear that you have.
One of the most important things to pay attention to when it comes to quality is the audio. You want to make sure that what you are saying is easy to be understood. And then beyond that, make your videos easy to look at. You know, pay attention to the lighting, clean up a little bit, and just make sure that it's all very presentable.
Okay, so the next thing that you should really pay attention to is your title and your thumbnail. You really need to format those two things to get the click. That's what we want. We want people to see the video in the feed and click that button so that they can watch it. And your title and thumbnail play a huge impact into that.
You could have the best content. You could have the most problem-solving piece of information for your audience. You could have spent hours and hours and weeks or months on a crazy video that is just super, super good. But if the title and the thumbnail fall short, no one will click on it, no one will see it, no one will share it, and it won't get views. So obviously you need to make sure that the actual content is good, but it's arguable that honestly the title and the thumbnail is just as important, or sometimes even more important, because it's going to be what allows people to kind of get their foot in the door to experience what it is that you're making.
Yeah, we all know how important first impressions are. You know, the first time that you meet somebody, this video is your first impression for a lot of these people. If you want a new viewer, if you want a new subscriber, make a good first impression.
A good practice and a good mindset to have when it comes to YouTube is to treat each video viral. You never know when a video could take off. You never know when it's going to be the one that completely changes the game for you. You know, you want to make sure that any piece of content that you're putting out, that you're prepared for it to be the one that goes viral, right? So it's like, are you proud of the work that you're putting out? Are you happy with it enough to be like, if this gets 1 million views and 1 million people see this thing, I'm happy and I'm proud of it.
And one of the most important things that you can do when treating your video viral is setting it up properly in YouTube and making sure that you're optimizing it the best way that you can, in hopes that you're putting your best foot forward for YouTube, for the algorithm to pick your video and to want to push it.
We've tried a bunch of different tools to help us optimize our videos and utilize things like SEO and tags and recommended titles and all of that stuff. And the best tool that we've found, the most effective tool that we have found, is VidIQ. VidIQ is a YouTuber's best friend. It's going to help you with all of your SEO, all of your titles. It's going to help you compare your channel against the competition so that you can make sure you're putting your best foot forward when it comes to optimizing the back end of your videos. If you guys want to learn more about VidIQ, we've placed a link down in the description. Go ahead and check it out. We highly recommend it. It's a great way to put your best foot forward on YouTube.
You know, ultimately, if you want to go full-time on YouTube, you have to make money, right? Like, you have to bring the money in. You have to find ways to bring that into your house so that it can become your full-time job. And one thing that we have learned over this past year of making YouTube our full-time income is to maximize your revenue streams. You know, find the different ways that you can do it, whether that's AdSense or affiliate marketing or sponsorships or digital products, physical products, courses, there's so many different ways. But if you can maximize those streams, you're going to be able to go full-time faster. And our last tip for you guys is to just stay creative. You know, we say it all of the time, stay creative, and it's so crucial and so key. You know, you never want to stop pushing the envelope. You never want to stop pushing your own creativity. It's really going to be a driving force behind what keeps your channel growing.
Anybody can be creative one time. You know, I think pretty much anybody can make one video and put it on YouTube, or have one good idea and follow on it. But it takes a certain type of discipline and a certain type of lifestyle to stay creative and stay consistent. And it's one of our channel's sort of mottos around here is to stay creative, and we say it in every video as just a reminder to all of you guys, like, we're right there with you. We're trying to be consistent as well and to continue to grow ourselves, and we're still figuring all this out, but we wanted to share some of these tips that we've learned in this first year on YouTube with you guys so that hopefully you guys can go full-time as well. All right, everybody, that's going to about wrap up this video. We hope that you guys have enjoyed this and found some value from it.
If you're curious about any of the gear that we use, where we get our favorite music or video effects, check out the links in the description below.
And before you guys leave, make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and as always, stay creative. Peace.